Hey, what is up, guys? It's H back. And today we're gonna just basically talk about some mental health surrounding the COVID-19 scenario that we're currently under, and the world is currently in crisis over. Um, Obviously, the self-isolation thing is gonna put so many people in such a dark place and feel like they can't connect with anybody. But today I'm gonna try and talk a little bit about it and sort of the feeling surrounding it, and obviously some ways that how we can actually uh, get through it and hopefully make the self isolation and the mental health scenario a little bit better for all of us. Yeah. So firstly, we're gonna go with this the self isolation. Is going to have a massive negative impact on a lot of you guys, just worldwide, really, because there's so many people suffering with mental health who actually haven't had the exposure or confidence to go and speak about it. So I'm just trying to speak from my perspective in having some mental health issues previously and how I overcome them. And hopefully this will help you guys as well. So um, self isolation, it sort of triggers you straight away to sort of loneliness and mood dips or sort of lack of motivation for things and stuff like that. So obviously being confined to your own house or flat, anything like that, uh, it sort of puts a dampener on your general social activities and obviously seeing your friends and not being able to see family as often. Obviously, if you live on your own, you're not allowed to bond with them. Um, so it can be quite difficult, and things in your house can get boring very quickly. However, there's a lot of things that we can do in our own behaviors that we can then further sort of better ourselves day to day and sort of tune into our psychological state a little bit more to try and boost our mood rather than having them dip a lot of the time. There's normal signs of sort of mental health where you're sleeping more, or there's a lack of eating, or there's lack of motivation to do things, or you find no enjoyment in doing things. And um, the ways I'm going to go on to talk about is how I find some ways of just coping with getting more enjoyment out of stuff, and how we can set mini goals to then feel some sort of reward and accomplishment from them, and start to feel a little bit better through the self isolation and through and within our own company. Because if we can start to enjoy all our own companies together, um, you'll be able to sort of adapt to more solo situations, and fingers crossed, like I said, it'll better your mental health in the long run. So, first thing, how to act. I always start my day off with making my bed. Only recently started doing it, but it's a huge mini goal that you achieve at the start of every day, so you know you've already accomplished something before you've actually left the house. Obviously, in self isolation, you can't leave the house. However, it's something to start doing now, so you've already completed a task prior to actually thinking about your day, going for a shower, going for a walk, going making food or anything like that. At least you've accomplished something straight away. It's a great way to feel accomplished. But the mini goals that I mentioned. So throughout the day, there's a set amount of tasks which you will come across, whether it be make some food, whether it be uni work if you're a student, if you're working from home, or if you're just sort of self-isolating with yourself and your family. I mean, there's games to be made, etc. But um, there's plenty of ways that we can do that. Looking at sort of cleaning your room and making your bed, that is a fundamental sort of cleanse, for example, to help you get into a good rhythm at the start of your day. Other ways that I found better for my psychological state is going for a walk or a run. If you have a dog, take the dog out for a walk. I know there's some certain criteria which we're not allowed to go out for. I think it's one form of exercise a day currently in the UK. I'm not sure if anyone's watching from other countries, but we're allowed out one time of some form of exercise per day currently in the current crisis. But physical activities are proven to reduce stress and inject positive endorphins into our system, which then will boost our mood, and hopefully then you'll see a difference in sort of the general mood dips or loneliness or lack of motivation that you're experiencing. And I know a lot of people are sort of getting a bit bored and sort of cabin fever, as they call it, in self-isolation, because they're normally used to socializing for a lot of the time, and myself included. Luckily, I have an escape to go and work for the NHS, so I do manage to get out of the house and into a new environment. So for myself, it's a lot easier to maintain my sort of positive outlook and not get affected by the self-isolation so much. So we're looking at loneliness normally in self-isolation because people feel detached and away from everything and away from normal practice. And this isn't the case at all. I mean, now more than ever, because of sort of online social media aspects, I mean, there's plenty to choose from, or even just picking up your phone and giving your family or relatives or friends a call throughout. I mean, you're not alone in this. It's affecting everyone worldwide, and it applies to outside sort of the COVID-19 scenario as well. I mean, if you feel a little bit detached from society, then it's not a bad thing to make that first initial step to try and reach out to somebody. And I don't mean reach out in a plea that you need help, but maybe just talk about anything. I mean, how's your day been? What's the weather like? Just general stuff, and that could boost your confidence in able to sort of have a social presence around your psychological state and how you're able to overcome those states as well. So going back to connecting with people, there's a lot of people in the world, like I said, online. If you find a favorite YouTuber, for example, or if you have friends online on Xbox, PSN, or anything like that, then engage with them a lot more as well when you're feeling difficult. I mean, I know it's easy enough to say, I'll just go to bed and go to my room, because myself, I used to do the same, and I used to sort of lay in a dark room and wait until it sort of changed my mood, or sleep until it went away. But the idea is to try and tackle these moods when you can, so then when you can feel one coming on, like a mood dip, for example, you can then put a process in place to not be affected by it and not ruin your day. This is sort of the process. I've got sort of a 5-second rule. So if I'm feeling very anxious, or I can feel a mood dip come in, where something's occurred where it's going to make me feel quite bad, then I have 5 seconds. 5 seconds. In that 5 seconds, I say, is it going to have a long-standing effect on me? Does it change anything that I'm doing? And what can I do about it to make it a better situation for me? And those three things sort of fly past my head in 5 seconds. And normally, the thing that's happened doesn't have a long-standing effect on my life. 2, does it change anything that I'm currently doing? And 3, what can I do to make it better? The second thing, does it change anything? Not immediately, yes, but not as a long-standing effect going back to it. So the effect may be something like a role change or a job change, or something that impacts, like a government putting on the sort of the one exercise a day rule. Obviously, for a lot of gym goers and a lot of like social football and stuff like that, it's impacted a lot. However, it hasn't changed anything that you're doing long term, because you can still keep fit in the house or in the garden. So there is still ways of manipulating your situation to then make it a positive way. Which brings me to the third point, is what can I do to make it better? So although there's many things, many obstacles which will be put in your way, there's got to be the way of thinking, what can you do to overcome the obstacle, rather than the natural negative response is probably, oh my god, why has this happened to me? And you can't think, why has it happened to me? It's more, what can I do to overcome this? And that's one of the most important sort of mindset changes that you can think of to take on these negative issues that may be in your life. Going back to sort of the three things which I have done to help me get out of the negative situations. A big one for me is exercising. So I exercise quite a lot, and that's whether it be out and about normally, but since this I tend to do a little home workout, and they're only small workouts, but they do enough to get the blood pumping. And then also reading. I've started to read a lot more than I used to, probably more than I ever done through school or anything like that, but I've learnt to sort of try and take on more knowledge, and even fictional reading, just to have that escape and really delve into the books and really apply yourself to sort of a time schedule to read, because it gives you a nice escape from your world as such, then for maybe 15 or even 20 minutes, half an hour if you like to read. But that's a good escape for me. And I've mentioned it about learning new things, and that's a massive thing for me, because I'm constantly looking to just find more knowledge about anything. Absolutely, if something interests me and I'm thinking, why is the sky blue, for example, or how do clouds come, how long does it take for the heat from the sun to hit the earth? There's so many sort of weird and natural questions which come into your head, and probably the same for yourselves. So Google it, do some research, do some reading, buy some more books about something that you're interested in. Now that you're sort of in self-isolation, and some people may continue to feel detached after self-isolation is dismissed, but this is the time more than ever now, when you're at home, to work on yourself and actually work on the things that you want to do. You may say that I've got children, or I've got too many things to do in the house, but you've got more time now to do the things than if you were working and doing those things, because your schedule hasn't changed at home as such. It's just you now have a little bit more time to do so. So it would be a great sort of way to boost yourself, to set those goals, even if they're small goals. I mean, it could be, ring a friend once a day or once a week, maybe, that you haven't spoken to recently. Ring your family, etc. So there's many things which you can do, but now is the best time, more than any other time, when you have the house as your playground, and you can actually do everything possible in your best interest to better yourself and better your mental health as well whilst in this situation. So just to finish now, and the sun's gone in, thankfully, because it's starting to get a little bit blind, but the three things which I normally do when I'm sort of feeling in a rut, or I can feel a bad situation coming on, is I give myself 5 seconds. So the 5 seconds is, does it have a long-standing effect on me? Does it change anything I'm doing at the moment? and what can I do to make it better if it does have an impact. My second sort of thing I go to is the exercise. So if I'm feeling, obviously if I'm in work, it's hard to exercise, so I try and apply the 5-second rule more so. But exercise, if I'm in the home and I can get out and do some exercise when I can feel myself having a bad mood coming on, then I'll instantly try and shake and go out, and then hopefully maybe a 1 mile or 2 mile walk, run, and get out that way. And the third thing is contacting people, actually speaking up and talking about your emotions and how you're feeling, because there's a lot of people who will understand and who will actually be there for you in the time of need, rather than you thinking it's better to go and sleep and lock yourself away. Honestly, that does nothing good for yourself, and obviously you're no good to other people. So it's better if you sort of talk, even in small doses, about how you're feeling, because making yourself a healthier person makes you better for other people as well. So then in time you'll be able to help other people who are in your situation, and you'll be able to talk to them about it and help them through it as well. Hopefully, I think that's everything that I do, and hopefully it's been a little bit of a help for you, and possibly if you can take what I do and obviously apply it to your life and it makes you better, then that's great, and obviously I'm glad I can be of help. But if there's anything that I can do, if you don't want to, if you have nobody to talk to, or if you don't feel comfortable talking to your close family and you'd rather talk to somebody who has an impartial view, because myself, I would by all means keep it confidential and try and help you as much as I possibly can. Through my experiences, I've learned how to deal with certain situations, so hopefully then I can help you through your situations as well. So feel free to reach out to me, or ask me any questions about my life. I'm pretty much happy enough to talk about everything. So if you want, I'll leave some details in the description, so you can contact me on my various social medias, and then, like I said, if you have any questions at all, or any comments, or anything that you think I can add, so like your coping mechanisms, then I would love to hear, and hopefully we can grow this community and then get a nice surrounding good positive mental health vibe, and beat the stigma that is mental health, really, and people not talking about it, because a movement needs to start, and it's slowly beginning to rise, and hopefully with the support of everyone we can build a good community to support the mental health. So yeah, I'll leave you with a little message. Make it your goal to support yourself firstly, and then support all the others around you. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll hope to see you soon in my next vlog. If there's anything, and I mean anything, that you're struggling with and you are finding it struggling to talk to anybody, then hit me up in any of the socials below in the description, and then reach out to me, and I'll do my best to be there for you and help you and hopefully make you feel a little bit better about yourself. Thanks guys.